All right, everybody, welcome back to Dave's Open Range. We're at the farm, obviously, and got a project on the red barn. So those brown slats, the louvers, the vents, whatever they're called up there, they need painted pretty bad. They've probably been painted once in the last 50 years, and that was by me about 15 years ago. So there's the collapsed corner project on the back of that. But anyway, that barn used to be a complete disaster. Some people thought I was crazy or that we were crazy for restoring it, but it's pretty nice now. We used a lot of salvage lumber and a little bit of ingenuity and creativity to make it what it is. It's a pretty old barn. So anyway, yeah, that's been painted. The barn's been painted a couple, maybe 3 times by myself in the last 15 years or so, and the family. So, but the brown slats up there, those are probably about 3 inches by 5 or 6 feet and something like that. And so I just want to prevent them from rotting. So we'll take them down and get them painted and put them right back in. Hopefully I've got some scrap brown paint around here. And so we'll get started here in just a minute. All right, see you then. All right, let's get a little bit closer view of that. The barn's been painted the red a couple of times over the years, but the brown slats are in bad shape. Yeah, there you go. I just don't want them to rot. So there's a piece of 1/4 inch screen fence business on the inside to keep the birds and stuff out. So we'll take that down. And those slats, they're like 3 inches by 5 or 6 feet long, something like that. So we'll take those out from the inside, paint them up, probably put them right back in. And hopefully there's no carpentry disasters or surprises waiting for me on the inside. So we'll get a ladder on the inside and we'll see you in there and take them out and go from there. All right, see you in a minute. All right, everybody, we're back in the inside the barn. It's actually a week later. I didn't get started last weekend or whenever that was when I thought I would. So those slats come out the inside, and I'm gonna go up the ladder there and show you, and take the rest of that fence down I have up there for birds. And they should come right out, and then we'll paint them up and probably let them dry a little bit, but put them more or less right back in. So yeah, we're up here in the old hay barn. This barn is, I don't know how old it is, but quite old, 80-ish, 100-ish years. So you can see how those just slip down in there. They're not attached, they're not screwed or nailed or dovetailed or anything like that. So they should pop right out. Although it's a really hot, humid day, so they might be a little swollen or warped and stuck in there a little bit, but shouldn't be too much drama. So yeah, that's what that looks like. So I'm gonna set the tripod up right there and finish taking this fence down, and then we'll pull these out and get them painted. So yeah, we'll see in a minute. These most of these beams are either oak or poplar, and everything's pegged. Used to be pegged in mortise and tenon. That's what that joint's called, and all sorts of crazy joints in here and structures. So neat old barn, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, everybody. Might even get lucky and have a rainstorm and hear some thunder. There's a big black cloud coming. I lost just a little test run. That one fell out into the grass, so that one's down. I'm going to work them out from the top or so. I think some of them are real loose, others aren't. So you can see that's as easy as they come out. Just like that. And the wood looks like it's in fine shape. Just a little weathered. You know what, I'm going to get on their other side to get that one, I think. Or tap it out with a hammer. So the wood looks fine. And I'm not going to scrape them and all that, I don't think. slap some brown paint on it and call it good. Because they don't, they look actually okay, but from a distance they're pretty ragged. So that top one's going to be a little stubborn, but I'll get up on the other side with my right hand and get that one out, tap it out with a hammer. So this barn, you noticed in the picture, was a complete disaster. Probably could have been torn down, but the bones were good, as they say. So it's a nice barn now, and it took a lot of recycled wood from another barn I took down, and this and that. So I did pretty much everything, or we did pretty much everything to restore it except the roof. That green metal roof that's on here now, I didn't do that because I don't love heights, and that's just easier to pay somebody to do that. But everything else, good to go. So let me just get these down safely. I'm hearing that thunder a little bit. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but it's going to be a quick hitter for a storm, I think. That's okay. Okay, so this barn, we started to restore it probably 15 years ago, and so that's probably the last time these were painted, and last time we did too much to the barn. It's a 2.5 story, an old hay barn, I'm pretty sure. Back when you had cows in the bottom and threw hay down from the top to them. So let's walk this ladder over there. I'm right-handed. I'd rather work with my right hand for a tool like a hammer or whatever. That is a dark sky. And here comes the rain. You can even hear that. It's going to mow the grass, but that'll have to wait for 3 hours more rain. It's going down. Sideways. Quick cool off. It's a hot day, probably about high 80s. Alright, so I'm gonna take these downstairs and start painting them. We'll check in a minute. Well, this is a vantage point I don't get very often. Maybe I haven't ever. But that's an angry looking sky. Nothing crazy on the radar though for tornadoes or anything here in the upper Midwest. So there's the milk house that we restored that corner on. House up there. Right about center screen right there is a barn, a corn crib we took down, and a lot of that lumber was used for this barn. And behind the milk house to the right of it here was a silo, and I got a video of that coming down. I might have to post that. And a collapsed barn behind that milk house. So that's all gone and cleaned up, and again, saved what I could for lumber and burned some and landfilled what I couldn't burn safely and so forth. Okay, so that's what the structure of this thing looks like. They just slipped down in there. That top one was a little stuck, as you saw. But downstairs to paint. All right. Okay, so we're down in the basement, not the basement, the first floor, and still coming down hard. That's about 10 minutes ago or whatever that I shut off. So the old 50s 8N, and this and that. This is where most of the work was done on that 1970 Volkswagen that you perhaps have seen in a background of a different video. So let's, you don't need to watch me paint, but let's just see for a second. Let's just see for a second how this wants to go on. And then I'll leave you be, and I'll check back in when we put them back. So I'm not going to be real careful here because it's not that important. I'm more interested in getting a nice coat of paint on there for protection than I am looks, because they're 20 feet off the ground anyway. That looks real good. I think this is the same paint, same can of paint that I put on the second can, so, and it's still in good shape, so I'm just kind of scrubbing it into those parts that they're not rotten but dried up and cracked a little bit. So, all right, you can see how this is going to go, so I'm going to, that looks good. I'm going to leave you be, and we'll be back later. Probably in a couple hours I'll get them back up in there. They don't need to be totally dry because they'll dry up in there in the air, but I don't want them all sticky and so forth, and to get them back in. So a couple hours or later today, it's midday, and we'll get them back in there and call this job done. It's going to look good. All right, see you in a bit. All right, everybody. It's been about an hour and a half or two, I think, since I painted them, and they're not totally dry, but dry enough, and they can air dry obviously up here. So that storm is through, and let's get them in. I'm going to just let the video run, but I'm going to quit talking, and then I'll speed it up during the upload. See me climbing up and down the ladder 10 times. All right, so let's see if we can get the first one in. Oops, that one's gone. So just like that. All right, 1, 2, maybe like 12 to go. All right, up and down the ladder, and I'll check in when we got them all in. Well, maybe you saw that happen. I have one left, and I'm thinking, where is it? How's that possible I could lose one of these? It's the one that fell out there in the grass, which I did pick up because I knew the rain was coming, but I put it in a different spot, and it didn't get painted. So I painted it 1 minute ago. It's very wet. That's all right. It'll dry. It'll dry in place, and then we'll call it done. A little slippery with the wet paint. That's the one that needed a little persuasion. There. Okay, we are done. We are missing one here, but it's always been missing. I should make one. Carpenter that up a little bit and make one. I think I'll do that. That's for a different day. But hey, thanks for hanging in there with this one. I'll take a little picture outside and we'll wrap this up. All right, everybody. That job's done. Looks a lot better. And those boards will be nice and protected for another lots of years. 10, 15, or whatever. And I think I will make a bottom slat, got one that's missing. But thanks for watching. and do subscribe and like the video, and feel free to comment. See you on the next video. Don't have to be bikes, food, another farm project. All right, take care.